I'll say this much. I didn't want to like it, but I kind of do. It's so interesting. Welcome to our review of the Bajaj Qute. Now this isn't a car review because the Bajaj Qute is not actually a car. It's a quadricycle. And it's not the kind of vehicle that you would buy for yourself. It's the kind of vehicle you would invest in. And when I say investment, you've got to think of this as a business tool. The Bajaj Qute is intended to be a delivery vehicle, a shuttle service, or a taxi service. Not long distance, but that last mile solution from the depot or the station or the main road where the bus, taxi or train drops you off to your front door. That's where this comes into its own, particularly in suburbia and in the city. Let's just dispel a rumor quickly. No, it is not going to cost you 150 Rand a month. Add a zero onto that and you're getting closer. It's about 1,500 Rand a month. The Bajaj Qute costs 75,000 Rand, and that makes it one of the cheapest four-wheeled vehicles that you can buy and use on the road in South Africa. But what are you getting for that money? Well, you're going to get the aforementioned four wheels. You're going to get headlights, indicators, and an enclosed cabin. It has sliding glass windows, but it has glass windows. No electric windows, no roll-down windows, sliding glass. You are also going to get 180 millimeters of ground clearance, which means that if you need to take it on a gravel road or an area that's slightly less accessible, it can do it. Let's take a look inside. At a touch over 1.3 meters wide and a little bit over 2.7 meters long, the Bajaj isn't what you'd call spacious. Yet, it is rather generous inside here. There's more than enough headroom here, and the rear passenger legroom is actually very, very good. They say that you're going to get 191 litres of storage space inside the Qute, but that's scattered around the cabin. There are glove boxes up front. There are two door bins in pretty much each door, and then the rear seat folds down forward to expose a little more storage space. It's not super luxurious in here. Everything is rather hard plastics except for the seats. These are vinyl, and you've got a roof liner. Equipment is thin. It is very thin on equipment. You have a MP3 radio, USB and SD card player, but it's a tiny little thing, and I think it only plays through one speaker. But it's something that plays music, and it's included in the price, so it's not terrible. There are a couple larger cars out there that don't even include that. It really is designed with utility in mind. It's supposed to be hard wearing. It's supposed to have a lot of traffic in the rear. It's not the type of thing that you'd use on a daily basis. But as a workhorse, that's a different story. As a whole, it doesn't feel particularly safe. But let's see what it's like out on the road. So what is it like to drive the Bajaj Qute? I'll say this much. I didn't want to like it, but I kind of do. It's so interesting. The Bajaj Qute is powered by a 217cc petrol engine. It's a 4-stroke, water-cooled petrol engine. It makes 9.7 kilowatts, and I don't think I've ever had to use a decimal point before, but I have to here. 9.7 kilowatts and 18.9 Newton meters. And that does mean that loaded up and on severe hills, it is going to struggle and cry a little bit. But it's not the end of the world. 0 to 100 comes up in, well, it doesn't come up, because its top speed is 70 kilometers an hour. Overtaking is a laborious process, but it is so interesting to drive, and it's largely because of this gearbox. The engine sits in the back, just like a Porsche 911, and it sends the drive to the rear wheels through a 5-speed sequential gearbox. And it's a manual. It's very much like a motorcycle, only the controls are reversed. I didn't want to like it, but I love scooting around in this little thing. It's small, it's compact, it's zingy, and I think the gearbox makes it really interesting to drive. Okay, the brakes aren't the best and potholes are going to swallow it up whole. One of the great things about having an engine this small is the fuel consumption. And the fuel consumption is listed at lower than 3 liters per 100. It's 2.75. You're going to get miles out of this tiny little tank. And that's great. When it comes to running costs, there really isn't much that you need to worry about in this. It's not the most compliant ride around, and the seats aren't exactly what you would call comfortable. There's no adjustment on the backrest, and you only have a forward and aft adjustment so that you can adjust it for how far you want the seat to be away from the pedals and the steering wheel. But as last mile transport, as a workhorse, as a delivery vehicle, yes, I can see why this exists. There's an old saying that goes, there's no such thing as bad publicity, and I think Bajaj would agree with that. The internet has recently been ablaze with memes, stories, and rumors around the Qute, especially about it being as cheap as what they were speculating. The fact is that this has worked out brilliantly for the importers of the Bajaj Qute in South Africa. They have seen a record number of sales. You're going to be seeing a lot more of these on the roads, and don't be surprised if you see it with company branding on the side. I think it is a very handy little tool that fills a gap in the market that we didn't know existed.